Hey, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Finesse and Failure podcast. Why is this episode so special? Well, I'm also doing a get ready with me, but I'm ahead of the game. I'm telling y'all right now. Um, we're gonna be getting into it. Not into it. We're gonna be talking a good bit today about where I've been for the most part. Because if y'all have followed me on Instagram or TikTok, y'all know that sometimes I go on these hiatus where I need to just get away from social media and understand why I need to be getting away. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I was really big in social media in 2020 and trying to grow my platform. And if y'all didn't know, I got all the way up to like 75,000 followers and I fell off the face of the earth. I went on a hiatus. I went on, you know, a break from socials. And the reason behind the break from socials is because it became very overwhelming. And we're going to get into it right now. So, welcome back to the Finesse and Failure podcast. Welcome to the cookout. Pull up a seat to the space table. Y'all already know how I get down when it comes to understanding and knowing and breaking down all of the facts for you guys, right? So I'm going to wash my hands real quick. I just applied my toner to my face, so obviously it has to dry. So we have a couple of seconds or a couple of minutes to get into what this episode is about. Now, everyone knows, even from when I was Courtney Amanda on TikTok, from when I was 25 forever, when I was 25, when I was 25. I'm currently 25 years old, which is where a lot of my branding came from. I wanted to be successful before I hit 25 years old. Lo and behold, success hit, and I am happy with where I am success-wise in my life, right? I'm happy where I am. Now, this is the part of the episode where I just want to thank all of my followers, all of my cousins that have tuned in to the Finesse and Failure podcast from before day one, right? Before I dropped the first episode. This is where I want to thank you guys for showing up for me, showing up for the episode. I'm sorry. This is where I want to tell you guys, I want to thank y'all for showing up for me, popping in, asking how I'm doing while I was on my hiatus, asking what's going on, talking to me about my mom. I was not very clear when I went on my break why I was going on break, what I was going through. And honestly, I owe that to you guys, at least to talk to y'all about what's been going on in my life, right? So, I talked to y'all a lot back in January, February, and March. March 15th was the drop of my first ever podcast episode. And I went back to listen to it, and gosh, it needs so much work. But I really want to thank Amber for sliding through to the Finesse and Failure podcast and talking to me about her journey through entrepreneurship and dropping some gems on us that y'all could use while, for starting your brand, and just straight passion that she had for starting her brand. Y'all know I don't care how I show up on the internet, because I am me. I will always be me. I will always and forever show up as me. So y'all about to see me put this wig on. Okay. I literally have y'all in my bathroom. Wig about to come. We finna slay it. Okay. While I'm talking to y'all today about the Finesse and Failure podcast. So back in March, that was the first episode I ever dropped. The first ever episode of the Finesse and Failure podcast with Amber, and we talked branding, strategy, marketing, SEO. We talked a lot, right? I then went on to drop another couple of episodes until about, I think the last episode aired March 22nd, and I got discouraged. And the reason I got discouraged is because I didn't understand nor know how to market my episodes properly, right? And that just comes with learning, right? I didn't know how to market a podcast. I know how to market business. I know how to market an ebook. I know how to, get the information I need out of my customers. So this was a learning lesson for me. But I became very, very discouraged. And then the bad news came, right? And it's no one's fault but my own. I tried to do way too much and not outsource and not get help when needed. I am one of those people who I'm going to ask for help when I want to ask for help. I'm going to put my pride to the side when I put my pride to the side. You're not going to make me do anything that I don't want to do. And it got to me really bad, to the point where I was editing an episode 30 minutes before I was supposed to drop it. Right. And that just pushed me and pushed me and pushed me further and further away, because I'm just like, I can't keep doing this. Right. I'm like, I can't keep trying to keep up, and I'm always behind. I have a full-time job. Okay, this here is not going to do what I wanted to do. I have a full-time job. I work full-time. And when I say full-time, I'm working 60 to 70 hours a week, because that's what my job entails, right? That's what my job is. And that's the job I chose, you know, and it's okay. But as an entrepreneur, you got to make something shake even when nothing wants to shake. So I say all of that to bring you back to this point right here. Um, so I say all of that to say this, right? There's a part. I'm just trying to make sure I have all the necessary materials, you guys. There's a portion in life where you're looking up at the ceiling and you're wondering, when is it all going to pay off? When is all this hard work going to pay off? Well, all of my hard work was never going to pay off if I continued to do and get drowned by all of the work I had already been putting in, everything I needed to do, every ounce of my businesses. I was trying to run 3 businesses at one time. It wasn't working, let me tell you. So I decided I wasn't going to do anything. I got depressed. I was sad. And then here was the worst news I've gotten. Me and my boyfriend, who had been together for a year at the time, in January, we broke up. And I still pushed and pushed and pushed. And I put all my pride and all of my joy into running the Finesse and Failure podcast, right? I put everything into it. I put everything I knew how to put into this business, into this podcast, because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what to do with my time. I was sad. I was depressed. And around that same January time frame, my mom was sick, right? My mommy got sick. Courtney, how are you functioning 3 businesses and your mom is sick? Your whole life. One of the questions one of my friends asked was, when are you going to stop? Right? When are you going to put you first? And I'm just like, I can't put me first. I can't put me first right now. My mom is sick. I have to work extra hard to make sure I'm making the money I need to make to take care of my sister, my brother, my family, right? So I'm going through a breakup, which was tragic enough. I had to go home to see my mom in the hospital, take care of her. And y'all, I'm only able to share this story now because uh, this is a part of my healing journey. This is a part of me healing. This is a part of me understanding and knowing, like, shit happens, right? So all of this is going on when I dropped the first episode. And yes, to everybody's question, I'm going to go ahead and answer it. I was still super hyped, super excited about that first episode dropping, because that was all of my efforts, all of my hard work, everything that I had put all of my effort and my work and my everything into, right? That was everything for me. So I was super excited in March when I dropped that episode. And then, oh my God, I'm depressed. I dropped the first episode. It went fairly well, you know what I'm saying? It went well enough to where I'm like, okay, episode number 2 is coming out in a week. I've not edited yet. I've yet to edit this episode. What am I gonna do? I wait till the last minute because I'm depressed, because I'm laying in bed, awake, tired, crying myself to sleep because, again, I was depressed from the breakup, from my mom, from seeing her like that. I was actually at my mom's hospital doing an interview while she was asleep one day, doing an interview for the podcast episode. That's how much dedication I put into it. I put my feelings to the side. I put everything I worked for to the side because I knew that this is something that I had to have work. This was something that had to work for me, right? This was something I had to do. And during that time period, I did it. I put it to work. I put my goals, I did not put my goals on hold. I was in the middle of doing everything, right? I was taking care of my mom, taking care of home, taking care of my businesses. I was putting in the effort. My mama would take her nap, her medicine, then she would take her naps. I would go out to they had not a lobby area, but it was an outside area where you could just sit and talk. I had my tripod posted up with my phone, doing an interview, taking notes, talking to this woman to air this episode out because that's how dedicated I was to my podcast, y'all. That I had an alarm. Hey, we can only interview for an hour because my mom wakes up in an hour, or my mom wakes up in, an hour and a half, and I got to be back upstairs. Right. That was the type of energy that I had toward my podcast. And when stuff that you don't expect happens, right, you're like, oh my fucking God. You're like, what else could happen? Mind y'all, remember, me and my boyfriend broke up in January. I'm down in February, March. I went twice. Went in February and I went in March to my mom's hospital to take care of her, make sure she's okay in the midst of a breakup. In the midst of a breakup, crazy lady. Here I am driving 8.5 hours away from the breakup, away from everything to take care of my mom. And I'm hitting up podcast interviews. On the commute, I'm pre-interviewing podcast guests because that's how dedicated I was. This had to work for me. Nothing was stopping my goal. This had to work. If nothing else worked, this had to work, right? Well, when I got back home after my mom got better, got out of the hospital, that depression sat in, y'all. Nobody tells you as a business owner, life still goes on no matter what you're doing. So it doesn't matter if you are going through a breakup, you got anxiety, you got depression, your bill's still coming, everything. It's just harder as an entrepreneur because you have so much more to juggle, right? So that depression sat in as soon as I got back home. As soon as I rolled my suitcase across the threshold of my home, the one I pay bills in, right? As soon as that happened, I'm like, fuck, this is my life. Like, this is what I have going on right now. And I am not in control. And for those of y'all who don't know me, I am and will always be a control freak. I have to be in control of my life. I have to know what's going on. And for those of y'all who are religious, y'all know that the good Lord has a plan for you that you have no idea. So my plan and his plan were two different plans. We were not on the same accord at all whatsoever. And it showed. You want to know how I know it showed? Because I was stressed out. I was full of anxiety. I was tired. I was overworked. I was just exhausted because I didn't know what his plan held for me. So that depression led to what, 3 months of no episodes dropping, no interviews being done, no edits being done to the podcast episodes I had already recorded, no pre-interviews, no posting on socials. Like, if y'all go to my Instagram right now, which is where I was heavily promoting the podcast, I still only have 100 followers. Y'all already know these 70 something or 59,000 followers on TikTok should have good and well been on my Instagram page as Finesse and Failure Podcast followers, right? As my cousins in the podcast, as my cousins coming to the space table. Y'all know that's what should have happened. Thank you. But it didn't. And you want to know why? Because I put in my head that I was stuck. I was stuck. I was stuck doing and feeling sorry for myself. I was feeling sorry for myself, stuck in the position that I knew better. I knew better than to allow myself to be in this position because somebody else made me feel sad. And I'm a Leo. And if y'all believe in horoscopes and understand horoscopes, y'all will understand what I'm about to say. Nothing can stop a Leo other than a Leo. So I was the only person in my way. I was the only person in my way. And I allowed my self pity to get in the way of my success. So, for those of y'all who've been asking, where have you been these last couple of months? Why haven't we got any more podcast episodes? And I just want to say thank you to the people who've been checking on me and inboxing me when we get another TikTok video. Oh, can you help me find X, Y, and Z? Absolutely. Y'all know I am going to have y'all back tenfold. I just have to make sure I'm good. I have to make sure that mentally I'm straight. Because if I'm not, that the content's not going to content the way I want it to. Y'all see, I don't care how I come, how I show up, because I'm being real with y'all. But I have to make sure I'm taking care of me first. Y'all see, I'm dead ass putting on a wig in the middle of a TikTok video trying to tell y'all where I've been. Okay? I don't care how I show up on these internet streets because nobody gonna take what's up here. Right? These internet streets don't mean nothing to me. I don't care how I look on the internet because guess what? When y'all meet me in real life, I'm the same girl. I'm the same girl. So that covers the what's been going on with me up until right? So in April, I stopped feeling bad for myself. I was like, okay, oh, me and my boyfriend ended up getting back together, right? We got back together. We figured out what was going on in our relationship and why we were in the spaces that we were in and lack of communication, right? Anxiety set in soon after because it took a lot of um, courage for me to come on this platform, for me to edit this as a podcast episode to apologize to my followers, my cousins, my babies, my boo things, about where I've been. Because I let seasonal depression, I let my life get in the way of educating you guys, showing up for you guys every single day. I let my personal life get in the way of business, and y'all know I'm not like that. So, with that being said, um, June comes around, and I look at my Instagram page for the Finesse and Failure podcast, and you guys can go and follow that on IG, same as it is on TikTok. It's literally Finesse and Failure. Um, and I went and I took a look at it. I had 20 messages from people who I interviewed, people who I pre-interviewed, people who have listened to the podcast on Facebook or followed me on Facebook from the podcast, and all of them had just about the same thing in common. When you coming back? Just want to reach out and ask you if you're doing okay. Haven't seen anything from the podcast in a while. Just wondering. Um, can't wait to hear the next episode. Very supportive. So those messages made me realize, girl, get back to it, right? So that was in June. If y'all don't know what today's date is, it is July 14th. Today is July 14th, y'all. July 14th. What does that mean? It took me over a month to film this episode, to talk to you guys about what I had going on in life because I'm not gonna lie, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed because how could I let this happen? Right? How could I let this happen? How could I allow my personal life to get in the way of me making a check? How could I allow my personal life to get in the way of me making money? Now that you know that you fell off, what you gonna do to get back up? That's a word. Your best friend says you fell off. What you gonna do to get back up? She was like, if anybody can do it, you can. And there's never been nothing you couldn't come back from. So what you gonna do to get back up? Girl, don't read me. Do not read me. I told her, I was like, don't worry about it. I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna get the episode back up. I'm gonna get the podcast back rolling. And I am. Today is day one of restructuring my podcast, going out trying to find guests for the podcast, right? Because my podcast is all about building your business the proper way, building foundation. I'm getting back on YouTube extra heavy. I have a week off from work this coming week, so that's when all the content is being filmed. Everything's being done already, and I want to sincerely tell y'all, I'm not here to play. I'm here to give y'all the game that y'all need, And I'm not here to charge y'all an arm and a leg for it. For those of y'all, I don't think any of them are in here today, but I've had build a business clients asking me, when you offering your services again? I need more clarity, right? I've worked with these people, they've launched their businesses from ground up and they're doing well. When are you going to start your program again? And I never had a program I advertised because that's not why I'm in business. I'm not in business to make money off of y'all, right? It's not hot enough yet. I'm not in business to make money off of y'all. I'm in business to make money selling products, right? The couple of clients that I did have, that I did mentor for 3 months in the program I made up out of nowhere, are successful clients. People who are going to tell y'all she's a gem. I am. But to get back to the reason I'm even on live in the first place, I'll tell you I don't like this weed. I'm here to let y'all know that it's okay to take a break from social media. It's okay to take a break from your business, right? If you're okay with not making money from that business and finding clarity. I took a break from my business. I took a break from posting on socials, from reaching out to people. I took a break from my podcast, like my baby. That's something that I was super successful with, like super excited for. I took a break from my baby because I needed to find clarity. I needed to know what I was getting into, right? This is going to be season's 1 interlude, right? I had to figure out myself before I could bring anything else to y'all, for y'all to hear, listen to, understand, because I needed to know what I had to offer for y'all. My podcast, for those of y'all who don't know, is for aspiring business owners who want to take their business to the next level but don't want to pay 6 figures, hell, 5 figures for a course because you can't afford it, right? We live in an age where people are selling you courses on everything, right? And don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. I plan on selling a course, right? And the reason I plan on selling a course is because I don't have the time to sit down with every individual that is interested in doing a one-on-one call with me or doing a one-on-one class with me. But I'm not the type to gorge y'all with five-figure courses, right? I'm not the type to talk to y'all and say, oh, this class only $1,500 for some stuff you can learn on YouTube or something you can Google yourself. No, I'm not selling y'all a Googled or a made up AI course because I need an extra band in the bank. No, that's not my goal, which is why I had to sit back and align myself with the reason I started the podcast in the first place. I've turned down, only off of 3 episodes, off of 100 views and 36 followers, a company reached out to me to sell a product for them or to market a product for them on the podcast. But that's not what that podcast was about. That product was nothing for business owners. No, I'm not doing this for a quick buck. I'm not doing this to build a following to sell y'all bullshit. That's not the purpose of this podcast. The purpose of this podcast is so that y'all get the game from people who's teaching it. You can enroll in a course they selling or not. That's not up to me. That's whatever you would like to do. You can do whatever you want to do with your funds. But I'm bringing y'all the game because I wish someone brought me the game. I wish someone showed me what it was like to start a business and what I needed off rip. Season 1, I introduced you guys, or the first 4 episodes of season 1, because it's only 7 episodes in a season. Season 1, I introduced y'all to Amber from Toledo, Ohio. She lives in Atlanta now, right? I introduced y'all to Amber because I introduced y'all to Amber because Amber knew what social media marketing and graphics looked like, right? She knew how to formulate those graphics for social media to bring or to brand your brand, right? I brought y'all Amber for branding and marketing purposes. I brought y'all in the episodes that are coming. There are 3 left before the season finale, which will be this episode right here. Um, the reason I brought y'all Amber was because Amber was a go-to for household brands building their brand through graphics on social, right? So if you need graphics on social, you reach out to Amber. You talk to Amber because she knows what the customer is looking for when it comes down to knowing and trusting a brand on social media. I brought you guys Michaela because Michaela knows and understands what SEO and why it's important and what you need or what the SEO formula is in order to bring more eyes to your brand, but targeted eyes, right? I bring people to this podcast because when I tell y'all it's so important to the attributes of building a business is more than just slapping up a logo on Instagram and posting a couple photos. Building a business and building a brand, like it's a formula to it. And nobody is just outright gonna give you that formula anymore, right? Everybody wanna charge you for a formula you can find on Google or find on YouTube. I'm finna post the formula on social media and I'm gonna see how many people are gonna be open to following that formula for 160 days, or sorry, 120 days, right? I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys not only about why my podcast is so much different than everybody else or everybody else's business podcast. My podcast is formulated for small business owners to get the game for free before trying to invest 5, 6, 7 figures or giving up before they start because they think the barrier or the cost of entry is too high. Before they think the cost of entry is too high, there's so much game out here on the internet for free, but nobody wants to search through it, sift through it. You don't have to. When you find my page, when you find my channel, it's so much game I left up while I went on my hiatus so that y'all could understand, know, and go through it. Like I left up my Google verification video because 1, that video got hella views. But 2, the video got hella views because y'all needed that information. Now everybody knows how to register their business on Google. Google it. It's gonna tell you. Um, but this particular live is more so about me letting you guys know I'm back. I'm gonna be posting more. I just got my content scheduled together for the next month. So y'all are gonna see me. But most importantly, I want to just thank everyone I interviewed for season 1's podcast. I want to thank Anthony. I want to thank Metro. I want to thank Kay. I want to thank Michaela, Amber. I want to thank all the people I reached out to for season 1 because when I tell y'all that y'all are the framework, I've built the framework through y'all's episodes. I mean it, right? So now the most important part is if you are not following the Instagram page, if you are not following the Finesse and Failure podcast on Apple Music, on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, or any of the other major streaming platforms for podcasts, you can even follow me on YouTube. Go to Finesse and Failure, FINESSIN, Failure. It's the same name on every platform. Follow me because I'm going to be sharing with y'all where I've been, what I've been up to, what I've been doing, and I'm going to be giving y'all the game for free. Now, nobody likes or nobody listens to game for free. I've listened to several podcasts that are like people don't value free. We're going to see. If y'all don't value free, in the next 3 months, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell y'all the same information with a price tag. Y'all going to pay me $1 for the information because you don't have to know this. It's better if you do. And the reason it's better if you do is because it's better when you're trying to open up that business for the first time. I was there 4 years ago when I wanted to open up my first business. I was there 4 years ago when I wanted to open up my first business. Nobody told me anything. Nobody let me know anything, right? Y'all saw my journey for my business on TikTok. I was going through opening my first business while my video for You Pack and Ship went viral on TikTok. Y'all remember the ebook I first sold on TikTok? I gave y'all an ebook to go start your business for free 3 years ago. 3 years ago now. Back in 2020, I gave y'all an ebook for free. I had a $10 ebook and I had a free ebook. The free ebook still gave y'all information. The $10 ebook was just a lot more detailed as far as what you needed to do to succeed in business, whether that was email marketing or social media marketing, finding you a vendor. I gave y'all a vendor list, a 200-page vendor list for $10, right? So now my question is, the next couple of episodes or season 2 is gonna have guests, right? I want to know who y'all want to hear from. What people can I invite to my podcast that you want to hear from so that this podcast debut is the best podcast debut you've ever seen? Who do y'all want to hear from? Whose business do you want to structure your business like so I can invite them to the podcast and you can get the game, right? And I do have a lot of solo episodes planned and they're only going to be about 15 minutes. They're not going to be as long as the episodes that I've been having with other people. My guest podcast episodes range from 30 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes, depending on, what we talk about, if we getting into it, if it's a vibe or not. So I want to know who y'all want to hear from. So I can I can slide in their DMs. I can be like, hey, my people want to hear from you. But the reason that I went on a hiatus is because I just needed a break. I needed to get away. I needed clarity for what I had going on. And I got overwhelmed. So I would say, welcome to the Finesse and Failure podcast. But y'all already been here for a while. Y'all know the vibes of the Finesse and Failure podcast. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know. And even if you don't, you gonna know. It's cool.